Um, yeah, I'm having some trouble getting this YouTube to behave itself when I come on and getting things set up. But I'm here. Sorry, it's been a couple weeks since I've been on. I tweaked my back. It happens. And then life is kind of busy. Comment set up this hour and pops in. Yes, I'm wearing a hat because, yes, it's a little chilly. There is a purpose. So, so, I'm trying, oh, here we are, so, morning, June, how are you doing this morning? It's good to see you. I'm trying to see, oh, here we go. Oh, shoot. Dang it. I don't know why it does that. Where it, is this one right? This is highlight. I don't know why it did a highlight. I was trying to find this because then it's easier for me to see the comments. And, it's, for some reason, it's like being strange. I'm doing okay. The back's still not happy. Lots on the plate, but that's alright. I won't just do this. Okay, I'm going to just do this. Because I can see the comments down here, but they pop up and then they're just poof. So I thought, so a lot of times I open it on my phone. That way I can kind of, I'm still figuring all this stuff out. And at some point, there we go. At some point I will get it. Thank you for joining, June. Okay, so now I'm set. Ta-da! I had to just close and come back. So, I wanted to share a couple things before wherever we end up this morning. Probably 2-3 weeks ago, I was on Janice Wright's channel. It's called The Right Way. Very, very, very cool lady. With some mad skills. If you haven't checked out, you might want to check her out. But anyway, she popped up and said she had this book called Lone Star Quilting. And she said that she thought that she would use it and then never did. So she was going to do a giveaway. I don't tend to win a lot of giveaways. But I thought, well, I've always wanted to do a Lone Star quilt. I'll throw my hat in the ring. And it's going to be on my bucket list or my quilt list for a bit. But I ended up winning. So she sent it to me and it came a few days ago. It's actually a very, very cool book. And it has both pieced Lone Stars, traditional pieced Lone Stars, and it has FPP Lone Star. I have 6 projects, and lots of tips and things for making it. Some beautiful, beautiful quilts in here using the Lone Star, or variations of the Lone Star. So, as well as tips on how to put it together. So anyway, I'm very thankful to Janet, and I want to give a shout out, kudos for her generosity. But she said that she was going through some of her stuff, ran across this book that she gotten, I believe years ago, and then, yeah, it's 2001, with the hopes of doing a project, and then she just when she ran across it, she just, I'm not gonna get there. Sent a very nice little card, with a couple of cool stickers. Look at this. Quilters or peacemakers. things I do in my spare time. Sew fabric, buy fabric, review fabric, research fabric, rearrange fabric, talk about fabric. So she's also added a couple really cool stickers that I'm going to find a place for. So that was just a very, very nice gift. Another friend of mine, some of you know that I have plans on making a turtle quilt. Here's the quilt right there. And I saw it on my birthday. Thank you, June. I saw it on my birthday done in boutiques at this shop in Somerville, South Carolina. And I didn't think I'd be able to get the pattern because they were out of books. So the only books they had were the kits. And at the last minute, this lady that works there, she'd just shown up. And she says, oh, well, I make the kits, so happy birthday, you can get a book. So I got the book. And in my last video, you'll see I found the boutiques. Well, I was stuck because I had found this really cool, I found this really cool tone-on-tone that's, let me see if I can show it to you. See, it's bubble. And so, but the place I found it at only had 1.5 yards, and I needed at least 2 1/4. And I was talking to a friend and I was telling them about it, and I said, man, I did a Google search for like an hour and a half trying to find a bubble tone-on-tone, and I was getting everything else, and like 5 minutes later she goes, oh, here it is. And I said, well, send me the link, and I said maybe in February I'll snag some up. And a little while later she said, well, just wait for it. And look what she sent, and it's even better than what I had. I don't know if you can really, you can kind of see the bubbles, but what, and I can't lay it down because then I have to just, you can kind of see the bubbles in it, but it's a better bubble pattern than I expected because, oh, you can see it over here on the side. It has these little dots under the bubbles, and turtles will go under the water and you'll see the little bubbles come up. So it's even cooler than the one I had found. And there's plenty here to do not only my turtle quilt, but some other things. So that was a very exciting blessing. And morning, Giovanna. Nice of you to pop in before you go off on your day. I hope you have a blessed and safe day. And the same quilty friend, we've been talking, and I use this rotary cutter. And I love this rotary cutter. And I was telling her that I had hoped to get another one. Because, see, this was my original work area, this little card table. Until I got a cutting table on the other side here, because I've rearranged it on the other side of my tool chest. And so I really didn't have a rotary cutter that I liked over here, and hadn't had a chance to get another one of these. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, great. Everybody has a different anatomy and everything like that. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I imagine it is where you are, Giovanna. And she says, oh, I have one, and I used it twice, and I didn't like it. So we did a little horse trading, and she sent this. So now I have one for over here for when I'm working on little projects and I need to do some trimming. I'm so excited. It's one of those little things that I could have picked up, but just hadn't had the opportunity to do that. But it's so exciting to have something that I can pick up and use here when I need to do a trim or something, and I don't have to go over there. And then she threw in these 2 wild pot holders she made. And I especially love this one. She was sorry that she didn't have my favorite colors, and I said, no, this is good. I guess she makes it's great that she sent me a little something extra homemade. But I guess she makes these and has them like in a little stash, and she went, oh, my stash is getting, no, I got to refill it, but I like this. They're actually pot holders, But this one will probably stay in here somewhere, and become a trivet or not a trivet, mug rug. So yeah, they are. And they're nice and thick. They're perfect pot holders. But this one's so cool. I don't want it to get all mussed up in the kitchen, so probably will end up on my sewing desk or something as a mug rug. So I'm just catching up with just different things. Thank you, June. Now, before Christmas, the week before, my birthday was on the 23rd, Christmas was on the 25th. About 7, 8 days, I started working on a hot air balloon lap quilt for my sister, and then she just wanted something simple. I got what she wanted done in a day, and I put the other one in a box. Well, she came back around to wanting it, and on my way home from that crazy 2-day thing on my birthday, she said, could you put the words to the book by Dr. Seuss, the places you will go? Because the center panel of that lap quilt is hot air balloons from the book of the places you will go. And I said, I don't know. So I started doing some digging, and a couple weeks later, I actually found this fabric, and it has the words from the book on it. So instead of doing a navy blue border to tie the quilt together, this will go around the quilt. Yes, Giovanna, they're going to be perfect coasters, and I'm excited. The green one will go in the kitchen, and it'll be nice because I'll find it. I'm going to go over here to my photos because I don't have it up on my design wall to take you over there for a minute, to refresh you about this quilt. But I'm one step closer because I have, on that particular quilt, I had the border, I had everything cut except for a couple gaps in the middle and the border, and it is an eclectic quilt, because it's pieced together with all types of, hot air fabrics, and most of them are vintage. So if you can see here, this is from a Dr. Seuss collection called Other Places You Will Go. It was put out around 2020, 2021. And then there's vintage. These are vintage hot air balloon fabrics in the 90s. Most of these fabrics I've been stashing for 3 or 4 years to build up a variety for her. And then since she mainly wants to use it when she's in the car, I added a couple travel things here. So I have this gap and this gap to fill in, and then the border. She wants Lorax fabric here in these about 4x4 inch holes. I only found it in one place. Found this beautiful purple, but it's only in one place. It's called Ribbler. So I'm still working on that. So the big thing I have to do is figure out what I'm going to put here in this side gap. But exciting, because I have the border. She got it. Found somebody on eBay, eBay, who had it listed. So she got enough so that I could do the complete border the way she would like it. I have the flannel for the back. She wanted the same flannel as the one I did that she took to Somerville, that I did in a day. And I didn't have any more in my stash, and Joanne's didn't have that 100% cotton. So I can bring up the hot air. I'll bring up the hot air balloon quilt again. I need to put it up here again. But anyway, so we're moving forward, because I went to look to see if I could find some more of that blue that matched, and I couldn't, but I found a black with dog paws on it for the back, and she's very happy about that. Well, I discussed that with her last night, because I'm thinking about a 2-inch border. So I'm thinking probably about a 2-inch border, Giovanna, which would be 2.5 inch border, which would be a good chunk of this. And I asked her if she wanted the writing to go like this along the bottom, and then have me cut it so the words, so she just saw the words kind of like, I got this upside down, and the words, of course, are backwards. But I asked her last night if she wanted on the sides just to see bits of it, or if she wanted it just to all go like that. She decided that she wants the border all the way around to go like this. And she said, you know, that way if you have the quilt turned sideways, you can just read the sentences instead of having, because if I did the bottom this way so you could actually read a chunk of the text from the book, and I did the sides like this, you would get snippets. So right now, she just wants it all like this, and what I was thinking was, it'll go this way towards the inside of the quilt, and then it'll go on the other side this way on the inside of the quilt. Now we'll see if that changes. That was last night's discussion. Yeah, because the top would be like this. The top would go. The top. It said that it would be right side, I think. Yeah. So, because I knew there was two ways. Either I do it so you can read the print from the book, and this is perfect because of the rainbow coloring, because that's what the center panel is, which are images from the Dr. Seuss book. It's licensed, and she doesn't want just bits of words down the side. So, but that is prone to change. Yes, that's what she's saying, because what she's saying is, if she has it so you can read the text, full sentences, if she wants to read the sides, she'll just turn the quilt, basically. But this is licensed of the places you will go, and it turned out that this is her favorite piece, even though some of these, like this one here and this one here, are vintage cuts from the 90s. But at first I didn't think she liked it, because and these are license plates, because it was a car quilt. Instead of doing a plain sashing in between, I remembered I had some fun license plate fabric in my stash, and so I put that in between, and they have fun sayings on them for each of the United States. So at first I thought she didn't care for it, and I went ahead and just made her black quilt for the trip. And but then she was like, well, where's the other one? And this was I just made a simple, need to get a better picture, but I made a simple, took a yard, trimmed it down, did a little free motion, and slapped the binding on there. I had 20 minutes to put the binding on there with batting and flannel on it, and she used it, and she still uses it. She loves it, but she all of a sudden was like, well, where's the other one? Well, I didn't think you want. So it's a work in progress getting the bits and bobs, because she's added some challenges. But I was thankful, because I didn't even know at that point, I didn't even know that this existed. And because she was driving for the first part home, and I went to looking, the first piece I found was it had the rainbow and some clouds and some balloons with oh, the places you will go, but I couldn't find any more than a fat quarter. And then I stumbled on this with gray and white, like a black text on white. And then I found a white with the multicolor, and I finally found 2 people that had this black on black, because she really doesn't want white because it gets dirty. So, thank you, Giovanna. Yeah, well, she's really loves hot air balloons, and it has a strong connection to her older brother, who she lost in April of 2019. He, for years, near Statesville, North Carolina, he not only flew hot air balloons, but he helped to design things like baskets and things for hot air balloons. So it was very much a part of her life till he stopped doing it a few years before he passed. But so that's why for about 3.5 years I've been stashing hot air balloon fabrics that I could find here and there. Morning, Lynn. How are you doing this morning? It's good to see you. And then when she asked for a quote for the car, I thought, oh, maybe I can get them to fit together and work. And Eva helped me think about, I had kind of a thought of a design in my head, and it's still evolving because it's just all freehand. And she helped me think through some of the math, and it worked, except for I got some gaps on the side. But we're getting the pieces together. I did find on Etsy a green with the Lorax and a purple with the Lorax fat quarters, which would be more than enough, but the purple was our favorite and it sold out. And the only other place I found the purple is a yard on Ribbler. So we'll see what happens. I'm just kind of... Lazy days, Lynn's, are good to have. I'm glad you're feeling a bit better today. I know what it's like to not feel well. And right now I'm just kind of meandering and doing some catch up on some things projects I'm working on, things that I've been blessed with or I've found. But now when I came back, one of the things that I had found at this wonderful quilt shop in historic downtown Somerville was this crazy peacock panel. It's actually very, very cool. It's the first thing I set aside for my pile. And my sister ended up sneaking it away. She forgot the yardage, but she ended up sneaking it away for Christmas and gave it to me on Christmas. What I wanted to do was find a fun border to go with it, and just make a simple lap quilt. Well, I was looking for something else for somebody, and I don't know if I showed y'all. Oh, Giovanna, Debbie already tried that one, but she's hooked on this rooster thing. I can't get her off of it. But I was looking, and I found this on Etsy on sale. It's a Jason Yanter print on sale for $4 a yard. Yeah. Because I thought this would be perfect. A perfect border for a perfect border for the ostrich because of the coloring. You know, because I was sitting there thinking it'd take me quite a while. I was keeping an eye on my stash and stuff, but it'd be quite a while to kind of find something that could blend, that could add a 2 to 3 inch nice border around this. So one more step forward on this project is that I have this border. Yeah, it's like perfect. She will snip it. Yeah, Giovanna, let me tell you what. So but yeah, it just was fun. I noticed it up on the wall, and it was just fun. And so I did, the yardage somewhere got slipped out between my Secret Santa birthday person and Deb's nagging the panel, but I did get a yard. I needed to get something else that got missed there, so I did get a yard of the yardage that went with this, and it has the rooster. It has the rooster. It has the ostrich in smaller form. I want to use that for something else because it's just cool. So, but I will find the right backing and binding. But this just was like really, from what I could tell from the pictures, it was like this is just going to be and 450, $4, and I think they sent me like a $10 because I was thinking on it, and I think they sent me a 10% coupon off of that. So it looks like a kiwi word. I think it was supposed to be an ostrich because of how big it is, but you might be right. No, I'm pretty sure. Let me see if I come on, because it's got the long legs, but yeah, it's definitely, when you unfurl it, it's definitely an ostrich. And it was just colorful and fun, kind of eclectic. It's a Hoffman print. Um, Tropic Walk is what it's called. 2023 by Hoffman. Um, so it was, I know that I think I shared this and some other, the little treasures that I got on my birthday. Um, and I had no idea that I would have a secret birthday Santa. They called it Secret Santa because I guess my birthday's 2 days before Christmas. And I will tell you, if you're in Somerville, go to People, Places, and Quilts. If you're close to there, go and look them up because they are an old hardware store. Wonderful ladies, lots of history there. Very kind. When I called to see, when I found out that a couple of things kind of slipped through because I was tired, I was hurting. I still had a 4-hour trip home. And I said, hey, I missed a couple things, do you ship? The lady called me back. She took my order. She got it out. She sent me a nice card. She even slipped this in because I reminded her who I was, and I said, we kind of invaded your shop. And she goes, oh, yeah, it was delightful. You guys should come back. She even sent this. It said, happy birthday again. And it's just a little 2.5-inch square, but it's the thought, the kindness, and shows the, those are the types of quilt shops that you want to go to. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I have 2 nephews in Somerville, and my oldest brother pops in there with his wife. But, yeah, People, Places, and Quilts. Great place. Character. Lots of different things going on. Yes, Giovanna, it was. I mean, it's just those added things that, make you want to go back and shop at a place like that, make you want to promote a place like that, because they're not all quilt shops are equal. Lynn, for the most part, the quilting world is a very kind place. Thank you, June. Thank you, June. But I have gone into some local quilt shops that I don't want to shop at because they're quilt police. They're very judgy. They They look at someone like me and they ignore me when I come in. And there's one in town that way, where they kind of snub anybody that's not. And they're very nice little quilt shop. Been here a long time. Great. They have a great clearance section. But nobody can be in the shop and nobody will be helping me. Nobody will be asking me if I need anything. So most quilt shops are part of the community and they are very kind. But there are a few out there that have just kind of that elitist quilt society. Yeah, Giovanna, I don't go, and it's kind of sad, but I don't go in there much because of that. You know, the first time, I mean, during the pandemic, they did the lockdown, but then for 2 years, they allowed people to come to their shop, but it was only people that were in the inner circle that could shop there. So other people couldn't come in small, you know, whatever the mandate was. And so, yeah, anyway. Yeah, then, you know, I like to support local. And it's hard when you really don't have, you know, I like smoke local small. I do shop at Joann's. It is a larger, part of a larger thing, but my Joann's is like a little community. The people that work there, I have gotten to know very well. They were a lifeline to me when I was restarting in early 2020 and the pandemic hit, because you could still go there. Sometimes you had to wait a half hour to go in because you could only have so many people in the store. But and then I shop at Etsy. I shop sometimes because Etsy does have a lot of small independent businesses. I sometimes go. Yeah, Giovanna. Oh, I was there. I was there because they had a sale about 6-8 months ago, and the owner there was 2 bolts of fabric separating me from the owner, and I said, "Excuse me, ma'am," increasing my voice 5 times before she turned around and said, "Who are you talking to, me?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am. I had a question, and I'm wondering if you have this." "Oh, well, let me see." And I'm like, I know that she couldn't not hear me. There was nobody else in this area of the shop except for her, and I didn't want to call her by name because was to me rude. I don't know her that well. I don't know her last name. So I said, "Excuse me, ma'am," to try and get her attention. But it took me 5 times. And then she kind of got huffy about being interrupted from staring at whatever fabric she was playing with. And it's like, who else would I be talking to? You're the only other one in the room. So, yeah, I don't go. I think it's just who she is. I mean, I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people who have encountered that. But she's been around a long time. So I don't go in there often. But like I said, every once in a while I go in there and check out their clearance because they really do have a good clearance section. So, oh, good morning, quotes and Hucker. Oh, I'm just not going to try and say the chocolate word this morning. I'm glad that you joined us. Yeah, Giovanna. I mean, you know, then I don't have to, because if I don't recommend her shop, and you know, because if you're a good shop, I'm gonna recommend you. I recommend the Bernina shop that we got in town that opened in late 2021 because they're good people. I do pop in there on a rare occasion because they do have a killer clearance section. I mean, I've gotten Tula Pink there for $3 a yard in their clearance section. So on a rare occasion, I will stop in there. They're the one place in town that has good deals on cork. Now, I've not bought cork from there in 2 years, but they have prints like this. I think this was made in Portugal, and I make some projects with this cork. So on a rare occasion, I will go in there, but it's very rare. I, but yeah, so I stocked up before cork went up. I stocked up, so I don't have. And I'm looking at other sources, but I mean, look at this beautiful, beautiful cork. It makes great bag bottoms. It makes great wallets. It makes great key fobs. This is one of my favorite because it's multicolored. Yes, we're squirreling. We're getting off. But see if you I don't know if you can tell, they put this metallic in the cork, and I've looked online for this, and I haven't found it, but it's gorgeous because it changes depending on where the light's hitting it and where you're looking at it. Makes beautiful, like I said, bag bottoms, wallets, key fobs. And no, I do have another roll. But I looked, this particular design, I have looked at other shops that carry cork. I've looked on Etsy, eBay, Amazon. I haven't found it, so I did have to go, but I do have another roll. These are what's left. I have not bought cork in a couple years, because when I could and it was on sale, I kind of stocked up. And it's good cork. So yeah, I have two. I actually did not realize that I have two rolls of that metallic rainbow kind of cork, and it's easy to work with. I mean, it's easy to sew, and I'm sure Mike would go gaga for that. Thank you. So quilts and chocolate. I have a very good memory, but names are my elusive thing. So if you remind me of what your name is, then I can call you something other than quilts. Yes, June. I do quilting. I'm working on my free motion skills. I am praying that I'll be able to get a couple feet for my Bernina. So we'll see. It's been on my wish list for about a year, little over a year. I love Phoenix. Phoenix was a surprise blessing and gift. That's my Bernina. But some of the adding feet and things, because of the quality, yeah. So well, I've wondered if you could, because this is not much thicker than fabric, and it's very sewable. So couldn't you put even a square or a patch in there, like as a kind of hidden surprise? Or if you were, we're squirreling. But what if you were doing like a sensory quilt for like somebody with autism or somebody with memory issues? Because this has a texture, it has a feel. That's true, it doesn't. That's true, Giovanna. Call me Exa. Hugs and kisses. That works for me, hugs and kisses. That's true. It does not necessarily wash well. One of the nice things, though, is very antimicrobial, antibacterial. It does not collect a lot of things. That's why I really like it for key fobs. I need to make some. They're a little bit more difficult than making these key fobs. See, like these key fobs are fairly simple to put together. These just need hardware. And normally I make them like this size so that if you want to put them on your wrist, but folding the cork, you kind of have to get it folded and put a weight on it to hold the crease. But it sews easy enough. Little adventures, little adventures. Oh yeah, wallets and fobs. Well, just you could, I could see Hugs and Kisses trying to sneak in a patch, or like I said, if you're doing some like a little lap quilt or something that you're doing that's like sensory, because there are people who have made sensory things for babies, people with autism, people with memory issues for feel and fidget, and cork. That cork is perfect for it because of the colors. You have the colors and the feel. Anyway, yes, they do. And the key fobs I have made in the past do work and well. Yeah, then I don't know. But one hidden patch, I think you might be able to get away with, and maybe do a test. Maybe put something small together, like a little thing with like a piece of cork in the middle and fabrics around it, and wash it and put it on some batting and mug rug or something, and put it through the wash a few times. See how the cork wears. Yeah, we're squirreling. But yeah, so and I don't have it because she swiped it before I could get it up here. But I made this, and Giovanna was great because she told me to. But I make these wallets, and you can put your credit cards, your money. You can put a key in there. Just so like if you're running in the store and you don't want to take a big bulky wallet or something, you can have this, and it can clip. I mean, it can even clip inside your purse. It can clip to your belt. But my sister decided she wanted a pocket this time, because about every 8 months or so she wants a new one. So she wanted a pocket this time. So the first rendition didn't work because I put the pocket in upside down. And Hetty was laughing and said, "Oh, it's a secret pocket." Yeah, I said, "It's so secret," but I fixed it. So this one worked out well. But what's nice is if you wanted to, you just put a grommet back here, and it holds 2 poop bags. The bottom one, you just pull them out the grommet, and the top one's your spare, and it's something kind of fancy. It's also great for holding little, like if you're going somewhere to hand sew or something, you can put your needles and little bits and bobs in there. So I've been doing these for about 3.5 years, and I just kind of made up a pattern, and they hold up. And I use what's called Pallon vinyl, and I put it on the inside of the fabric, and it makes it waterproof. Just the top layer of the fabric. So like the Pallon wouldn't go on this. Okay, this is the first inside that I cut to go with it. But then she wanted a pocket, so I had to recut, because the way I did my pocket was I added about 4 inches and then I folded it up and tucked it in. But on the top front layer, because this is going to be all tucked inside, I use a vinyl Pallon that you just iron on and it melts. So it melds with the fabric, and it may darken it a tad, but it makes it waterproof. So whatever you have in there, so. Oh, thank you, Giovanna. I appreciate it. I can show you a couple of the first ones, and I didn't finish them. And I do have lobster claw clips that you can put on that, you know. I do have lobster claw clips that you can just slip on that tab. But like her last one, it's a year old. It's still going strong. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that she didn't listen to me and wash it. So she's used it when she's been out gardening and working and out running around. So, yeah, it needed to go in the boob sling bag and be washed, hopefully. But yeah, so here's one of the original ones. I never finished it and then so I get the two pieces together. This folds up. You top stitch it once you turn it right side out. This folds up. You stitch here. You get your tab in there. You know, you take a piece of fabric like this and make your tab, and you slide it in the side, and then you sew here, reinforcing where your tab is, and then you put a snap in. And you put a snap in, and there's your pouch. And these are narrower, so now I make them a little bit wider to make them not bulk. They're just slightly wider now, which gives you a little bit more room. But like I said, you could put a grommet here, right here, and then hide your poop bags in it. There's so many uses for it. Like this is another one. I put this together like 4 years ago. And then and then through trial and error, I figured out that it needed about this much more space. And now we're adding pockets, so eventually those. Joe, how you doing? I've been watching your videos. I loved your fabric envelopes. I wanna look at those. They remind these pouches I was just showing. Your fabric envelopes reminded me of these pouches. But yours are so darling. Morning, Cheryl. How are you doing this morning? Young grandson. I'm glad you popped in to listen for a bit. Yeah, they're called. Then I think you were referring to lobster claw. They're just these little clips, and they come around, and they have a little lever that opens, which holds them fairly securely, and then they just attach to where you make the little tab. And I got plastic cam snaps, and they will hold through a hurricane. I mean, you can use them on diapers, and they hold them on. But I tend to use metal. So, I've been watching. I may not have been like. But I've been watching all your videos. I was watching, what was it? You were making the drawstring bags with the cat fabric. Those were really cool. I've been on a roll. Yeah, well, I got off squirrel and somehow on pouches and cork. But I'm almost caught up with pretty much my you know, what I've got for projects. And yeah, afternoon it is. And Joe's got mad skills. And talking about kind of scraps, I popped into my Joann's. It's my Joann's is real convenient for me because where it is in town, it's like halfway between the doctor's office and home. And so it's a perfect pit stop, and then I know everybody there. But the remnants are still 75% off. So I spent $4, $3, $4, I think. I got 3/4 of a yard of this. I got this tone on tone. It's 3/4 of a yard, and it's various snowflakes, tone on tone. I got this, which is actually 108, $2. 2/3 of a yard, $2, 108. Which the reason why mentioning that it's 108 is that every yard of 108 is almost equal to 3 yards of fabric. So when you get 108, like, I will probably use this for bowl koozies and all kinds of different things that need a blender. That's quite a bit of fabric for $2 because it's 108. So 2/3 of a yard being 108 makes it almost 2 yards of fabric. And most people don't realize that when they're thinking about 108 because of the size of it. It almost equals out. It's just a hair off of 3 yards per yard of 108. And then I got Grippy. I prefer this in black, but this is great for, you know, a ton of projects because it has little grippy dots. And if you ever have to fix your slippers, this stuff, or you want to make, you know, non-slip something for your feet, this works. Neoprene works great because it doesn't slip and it's cushiony, but this is great. So yeah, Joe, she would. She'd be like going, I know, Lynn, it would be great for you guys, wouldn't it? But then again, you've got Luce and Irene, and you got Mayflower. I mean, so, I mean, you know, you've got some designers that I am in love with that some of their fabrics, it's very hard to get here because I can get some trickle in, but shipping to get the rest, it's like, okay. But yeah, yeah, hugs and kisses, it's true. I mean, they are. You know, I don't, you know, I have a friend in Canada, and when Tony was having his minor heart procedure, I wasn't going to sit in the waiting room for 5 hours. I've had enough of waiting rooms. I've had enough of hospitals and everything else to do with medical. But, so I just ventured out, and my friend from Canada called. And she said, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm sitting here thinking about roaming around Hobby Lobby and killing a little bit of time. I've never been in a Hobby Lobby. We had so much fun. Oh, I'm not, Joe. I'm not. I'm done. I'm not showing anything. I mean, because I can't, my joy's gone with sharing, like, finding something for this. That joy was taken away because of the reaction. So, no. That's why I'm doing it here. And she told me I don't have a Hobby Lobby, so I gave her a tour of the Hobby Lobby, and she was just, we had so much fun, though, going through and seeing different things, and I told her it's kind of sad that a couple or 3 years ago, Hobby Lobby had a fabric section that was three or 4 times bigger, and they shrunk it. They shrunk the yarn, the needlework, the fabric. Giovanni, you're funny. Yeah. The only problem is it was a Christmas present, so... And you know, there you go, Giovanna. You get cheap fabric from the market. That's the trade-off, that it's... But yeah, no, I haven't bought any of this in a bit. There is a pillow called a Triangulo. I got the pattern for it. It's a 3-sided pillow, and it takes 3 fat quarters, and it's really comfortable. Sometimes on one side I will use this kind of fabric, because then when you put it behind your neck in the car or something, it doesn't slip. You have 2 soft sides. and then this doesn't slip if you use something. And I have some black, which I prefer because it doesn't get as dirty, but sometimes beggars can't be choosers. And like I said, you know, good sized piece. Ah, yeah, I understand that. Well, I was in the Hobby Lobbies, Joe, just killing time, and she goes, I've never been in a Joann's before, and I said, well, let's go. Because when I got done at Hobby, I said, let's go. I said, it's about 15 minutes. See, now, I don't go to the Hobby Lobby as much because it's an outlier for me, for the area I usually am in. Um, I took her over to Joann's, and I said, now, I know pretty much everybody here. Yeah, okay. So I walk in, and I get, I'm showing her, and she goes, I, I, she just could, I, I could see that it was, it's hard to imagine when you haven't been in a shop like that or haven't had like a tour. And everybody, she was showing her patterns, and we had a good time. And she goes, everybody in there does know you. And I go, yeah. Um, yeah. June, there's, thank you, hugs and kisses. I appreciate that. It's just, I don't need much of the Lorax, but see, okay, my chosen sister who I'm making this for, she has a neurological disorder. It's degenerative. We're 3 years in. It's terminal. But anyway, we're still hanging in there. It hasn't gotten so bad yet. And so one of her favorite grandsons says, "Oh, that you should put Lorax. That's what that are the places you will go." And that's where that came from. She really wants Lorax in there because her grandson, who really takes from afar, kind of encourages her and that kind of thing. So I've been looking, and um, I'm hoping maybe on the first I can go ahead and just get the yard of the purple from Ribbler. I've never used Ribbler. It's powered by Joanne, so it's something new. Um, but at least it would have the two pieces of the Lorax where she wants it. It would have the border, and I just have to fill in that side with. I'm thinking that area that's about like this big and this wide, I may do like 3 blocks of something. Um, yeah, June. Okay, XOXO. I'll get my brain together. Um, yeah, it's, that's the thing is, I you go, I'm not going to say everything in Joann's is like jump on it. Their happy value fabric, okay, may work for some crafting and stuff, but like when they came out with that happy value, both the managers at my joint said, look what they cooked up now. And they said, and I looked at it and I go, oh wow, $2 a yard. And they go, nah, it's worthless. It is so see-through and so thin. And I thought, you can get Quilter Select, which isn't thick, but you can get Quilter Select that has twice the thickness on sale for $3.99, $2.99, $3.99 if you wait. It's not, I mean, it works. It holds up because I make bandanas out of it. I use Quilter Select from Joann's, like this, and I make bandanas. So, like, I had a friend at the doctor's office who loved ducks. So I got some Quilter Select because it's the perfect thickness for a bandana. And it softens up with use and washes. It softens up. And all I have to do is a rolled hem. And so my sister has dozens of fun, not dozens, but she has she's got quite a collection of inexpensive bandanas with lots of fun designs. And she picks which one she wants. So that fabric, and they last. Simple, simple bandana. So $2.99, say it's $3.99 a yard, and I make a band. I can make several bandanas for that. That's even cheaper than Hobby Lobby's thin 99-cent bandanas. So, plus, I mean, they have a lot of designs. This is just one. And every once in a while she goes in there and she picks out a couple different designs, and I have her get a piece, and then I'll make her some bandanas. Their premium is very nice. They have most of their keepsake is nice. I've used it. It wears well. It lasts well. Their novelty, they have some prints that you can't get. And I have projects that are years old with their novelty and their keepsake, and they're holding up fine. So, and I've gone to local quilt shops and seen fabric that they want $12 a yard for that is not. That's happy value. I'm just saying, not a lot, but I have seen fabric at local quilt shops that is not the frou-frou quality everybody says is 100% guaranteed. It's the feel. That's why I say 90, maybe 90% of keepsake I like. I picked up this remnant and it's keepsake, but it's stiff. It hasn't, even with washes and working with, it softened up some, but it's one of the few that is stiff. Most aren't, and the stiffness just doesn't, the roughness just doesn't, takes a very long time to go away. But the other 90%, I mean, I used them in my angels. This, right here, that's keepsake right here. Just saying. I have a variety of stuff. This is Dan Moore's quilt shop, but I got it at my little hidey hole quilting area in the upholstery outlet. I love this fabric. This is a Dan Morris, and they had this in 108 for, I think, $10 a yard for 108. And the lady goes, well, that's a little expensive for a yard. And I said, but it's 108, so I'm basically getting 3 yards. Yeah, I've used this for quite a few projects. Like me Dan Morris. But one thing you can do, yeah, Giovanna. Then, yeah, I'm saying that that's what I'm saying. You have to think about the projects you're doing. I wouldn't necessarily want, I could, but I wouldn't necessarily want to put this in a quilt because I'd be concerned of it wearing through because it's thinner. But it's perfect for bandanas and different projects. Now, you never know. I mean, shoot, our grandparents used old clothes and feed sacks. Um, and one thing is if you have eBay, it's actually eBay. One thing most people don't know is there's a lot of small quilt shops on eBay and sellers that are destashing and things like that. And they will put things up. So sometimes you can find things that you need there, and if you go, "Ooh, this isn't my budget," and you look down, a lot of them say make an offer. And you can go in there and you can make an offer. Now, they may accept it, they may not accept it. They may counteroffer. But those boutiques that I got, I knew what I had left if I was going to get them for my turtle quilt. And I found some on eBay from a small seller, and I put in an offer. And down at the bottom, it said eBay suggests you put in this offer. And I thought, wow, that's less than the offer I was going to put in. But it said the seller's most likely to bite. I put it in. I got my boutique fat quarters for $166 a piece, and they're absolutely beautiful. And the Mayflower, the ones by Mayflower from the UK, those boutiques were an oops, because I had put in an offer for them, and the response I had gotten that you have 48 hours before they decide. The response I had gotten was a general email going, we're making a 5% off offer. So I just figured that was out of there, so I went with the colored ones. Those boutiques, I think, came out to be like $147 a piece, because they did accept my offer. And when I looked up the colored boutiques that I'm going to use for my turtle quilt, and it's still going to have plenty left over to play with for other projects, but for my turtle quilts, they were selling them for 60% more. They were still on the market in quilt shops, because they didn't show a picture of all the, the picture where you see the blocks of all the 24 that are included. So I went to look it up, and I saw sellers selling them retail. So it takes a little bit of legwork, but sometimes that's where you, and I ran across those looking for fabric for somebody else. They wanted some vintage angel fabric, and I ran across that. And wide back, yes, Lynn. That's true. I mean, people see my stash. Most of what I have in my stash, I picked up when I restarted. The first 2.5 years, I restarted. And it was the pandemic, so you got what you could. And I was figuring out what had changed in 10 years or so that I had taken off. And then I started finding my favorites, and I started finding things that I would really, really use. And so now, for the last 2.5 years, I've gone into more thoughtful purchases. But what I got during that time, when it was a lot cheaper and we were doing the sales and stuff, it's really helpful, because, like, say I got this out of the $5 bin, and I got what I could, because I knew I would go with a lot of things, and I liked it, and so I have it now. So when she pulled out a turtle fat quarter and said put anything on it, I could have put just a straight blue, but I thought, oh, let's go a little prettier for the inside of the pouch. Like, if you look at my purple, I didn't use a straight, because it just makes it a little bit more, and when you open it up, you see that, and to me, it's a little happier. Yeah, and you know, Giovanna, the other day when I was asking which one I should use, this was called Hooked on Fish, I think, or something like that. I didn't realize that I had three variations. I did not realize that there is this purple and blue, which I have a nice chunk left. This blue on blue, which I have another piece of. And then this beautiful multicolor, which I don't have very much of. But I was thinking that these, I don't know, my brain wasn't, but I was looking at these and thinking they were the same, and they're not. They had three different variations in this collection, and I've used them for trivet bowls. I've used it in a small quilt. I've used it for these pouches. I've used it for um, it's let's see, Hooked on Fish by for Burnt Ben Ben Artax. Um, and this was probably 2 years ago. I'm thinking 23, 22. Um, and if I run across some more for a good deal, but see, that's how you end up squirrel. I'll see what I can do, Giovanna. Oh, that would be beautiful, Lynn. That's called, like I said, that's called Hooked on Fish by Bennertax. Um, you might be able to still get it, Lynn, and you might be able to find a deal on it if you poke around eBay or Etsy, because it's not that old. Um, so you might be like, I wanted some more. I did not buy a lot of Alexander Henry fabric. Some of his prints are cool, some were just real. But I had found this print with hot air balloons, and it looks like postcards. I can get it out if you want me to, but um, it looks like postcards from hot air balloon rallies. It's older. I found it. I ran across it over the summer on Etsy for $5.50 a yard. And then I found out, and I picked up a bit, not much, and then I found out that his kids were basically just dissolving all his work except for one fabric line, that they think is more profitable. The rest they're just, and so I went and I got what was left, and I ended up getting it for $5 a yard. But I didn't just grab for the first deal that I saw. I did some looking. I Googled what I was looking for, and I looked at different sources, and I thunked about it, um, and I, okay, so you have a blessed day. Be safe, please. Yeah, Lynn, that's a problem, and I want to say I got to get a drink of water, but I want to say that you might be able to set your Etsy to target more of Europe. But yeah, I was looking at something. Oh, I forget. I was looking at something the other day, and I thought, oh, this is beautiful. And then it said UK, and it was like $14 for shipping. And I thought, oh, ow. Which is probably nothing compared to what you have to face with some of your prices, and but shipping has gotten crazy all the way around. I used to buy from Dinky Doo in Canada. Dinky Doo is a great cook company in Canada. Whoa. And but shipping, they have some great deals. But shipping, no. Um, but yeah, and some of it is, I mean, I'm not gonna get into the whole thing. I come over here because my watch was telling me I needed to stretch my back. So I'm just staying for a few minutes. And I needed a drink. But hopefully in the next few days I will show the other find that I got, but I'll give you a sneak peek. But sometimes it's squirreling too. It's rabbit trailing because like I was looking for, Donnell showed that angel fabric and a couple people got really excited about it. And there were 2 people that said they really wanted it. And I thought, that looks like a Cranston fabric. That's probably 90s. And I took a snapshot of it, and I found it. I found 2 places that had it. On eBay. 4.5 yards. 4.5 yards of it for $22 free shipping. Because it was $24 for 4.5 yards of it. But anyway, so I sent that, and there was one other. And it was 4 yards for, I think, 20, and then shipping, which made it more. But with the 4.5 yards, you got 2 1-yard cuts and a 2.5-yard cut. Anyway, but I found this, which I thought was prettier. And it's got the Hark the Herald Angels Sing lyrics in the dresses. Personally, I thought it was prettier than Angels with the Swords. Made a deal. Small piece, 1.5 yards, I think. It is older. This is Spring's creative use. But, it's gonna make some nice projects. Okay, XOXO, thank you very much for joining us. I'm gonna wrap this up pretty soon, but I wanted to give you just a sneak peek. My sister needed has been looking for a couple things, and I went looking on, I haven't been as much. I did a lot more a couple years ago, and I got some nice fabric from Facebook Marketplace. But I was looking for a few minutes this morning, and I ran across the lady. She had an ad up for panels and scraps. And so I clicked on it and was looking at it, and I thought, oh, that's all vintage. I could just tell by the look of it. And she had quite a bit of it. And I thought, well, you know. So I sent her a nice message. Kindly asked her if she'd be willing to take this much for it. She wrote back and she goes, oh yeah, I just want somebody to use it. It turns out that it was her grandmother's, and she had inherited it a few years ago and just put it in a closet. And that there was actually a lot more than what she pictured. And that wasn't in the description. And then when we were talking, she said, do you want this roll of canvas? And I said, okay. I said, okay, thank you, but you know, I can only pay for this much. Oh yeah, I just want it out. So I got an additional 4 feet, 8 inches of very nice outdoor canvas. But here's a sneak peek. We'll get into this bin later, but here's like a sneak peek. This is an applique sheet, and these are 90s. But this was a printed sheet that you would cut out, and you could applique them. There's only one missing from this yard. No stains. Little musty smell. But that comes out easily. So there's a gingerbread house with the bear missing. And then there's cute projects like this. Everything is here to make this pillow with the little, it's called Rudy Reindeer Pillow Pals. Love you too, XOXO. You have an awesome day. Um, yeah, oh man, don't worry. Yeah, don't worry about fat fingers. Like, and here's another one. And a friend's already claimed it, but this is a vest. Is that a vest? They've claimed it for their grandchild, and I'm like, I'll send it to you. Go. Uh, and it has all you need, and you cut it and you sew it together. And you actually can add ears to the elephant, wherever the elephant is. Like, oh, the elephant's over here. You can actually add ears to them. Those are hippos. Wherever they are, you can add elephants' ear. It has the patches for adding the ears to the elephants. It tells you how to make tails for the elephant, camel, and hippos. How to how to finish it. There was a time in the United States when these were very popular. And soft books that were like this. And if you can find these in good shape, like these, I don't even think. I mean, these were well kept. They just smell like they've been in a bin, so that'll wash out. But even if you don't, even if I didn't use, even if I didn't use this as a vest, as a child's vest, look at all the opportunities that you have to fussy cut this and make a pouch, or use it for applique or something like that. But this used to be a big thing, and then something happened and it wasn't anymore. But yeah, there's probably, I don't know, the bin is one of the large bins. And I've already been on for about an hour and a half, so, but it had more stuff in it than I thought it did. I mean, it was 3/4 full. Now, granted, at the bottom of the bin was like 3 pairs of partially cut up jeans that she'd used for some things. But just a ton of fun stuff. Another thing my friend did killing this, which is fun because I don't do French knots. I don't do French knots or colonial knots very well, but see, like, this is a candlewick pillow, and it's a scalloped heart, and it has a print on there, and I guess you do the French and colonial knots, and it has all the directions for doing the pillow, and here's the back. It has the back, so it tells you how to make 2 pillows, 2 candlewick pillows, and they were like, oh, I haven't made one of those in years, but I've made them before. And I said, okay, I haven't done it. So there's a couple, but like these applique panels, aren't these just fun? Applique panels. I mean, look at the bear. The bear in the box. I mean, you can make a mug rug, you can make a pot. I mean, there's so many things you can make. These little guys with the house. And there's one of those missing. So you've got lights over here. You've got 3 different sizes of these. 2 different sizes of these dudes. You've got 3 of the bears, which I think 2 big bears and a little bear. And like they show you over here. They show you a tablecloth, a bib, an apron, placemat. Happy holiday. So, anyway, there was 2 Halloween panels. So lots of fun. Stuffies. There's this great one for a lion, and it looks like it's going to be pretty good size lion. And it even has the mane and has the jointed legs. So I just saw it and I thought, I've got this much I can squeeze out. I sold something. I could put that back in. $10. $10 is what I had. And the lady was like so excited I would take it. And some of it will get shared, some of it will get used. Oh, look, I didn't realize this. This has little jewelry. It has little things for making jewelry up here. Look. Daisy Kingdom in Cranston in the 90s particularly put out a lot of these panels and a lot of soft books, and it's really hard to find soft books anymore that you can just sew together. Now, Moda does have a creator named Stacy HSU. She makes some fun, killer things that are similar to this but amped up because of the printing and the type of fabric. I have a Noah's Ark with animals that you put together, and the ark folds up and you put all the stuffy animals in it, and you put Noah and Mrs. Noah in the front pocket of the ark. I have a horse stable. I have a barn to put together that has chickens and cows and all those things, and the barn folds open, and when you're done you can put the animals inside. Same thing with the horse stables. You can put the 3 or 4 horses that you put. Dog bed. I have a couple for dog stuffies, and they have a little puppy that goes in the pouch right here. I got one from a couple of years ago that I want to put together, and it's a backpack, and it looks like a bear, and the zipper is the mouth, and it has a fish that you can put in a little front pocket, little tiny backpack. I know I'm geeky about some things and not near my 60 years, but those things are fun to me, and so I have picked up some of her panels because they look like fun projects, and they will go in here. Those are for me. Those are not. They will go with my stuffies. They will go with my gnomes and my stuffies. Just yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Was Lena on? I didn't mean to. I was looking. Hi, Joyce. I didn't mean to miss you coming in. I'm glad you popped in. I'm sorry that I collided with Lena. I just was trying to get on here for a little bit. I was looking for the Lorax that has a purple background. I can see if I can bring it up. They made a red, a green, and a purple. Green is my second choice, but the purple would be wonderful. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Okay, so this is okay. So that's the purple that I'm looking for. Now the green's my second choice. And it's hard to find too. I can find a red and a fat quarter, but they're a little pricey. But this purple would be perfect. And I really only need a fat quarter. So, yeah. And I had a line on a fat quarter on Etsy, but they wanted like $6 plus shipping for it. And that really kind of hurt. Now Ribbler, I can get it, I think, for $11.95 a yard for a whole yard, but I don't know what their shipping is, and you don't get any details till you sign up. It's a Joann's spin-off that's new, and I guess they're trying to build a community so they not only sell things that Joann's would, but if you like destashing or something, you can put things. I don't know exactly a lot about it. I just know it's powered and backed by Joann's, and it's something new on the scene. And I noticed it about a month ago, and then when I was looking for this, that's the one place I found it. So that's one thing. It's $12.98, but it's called Ribbler. And it's powered by Joann's. Um, oh crap. No, I lost. Yeah, no, it's now out of stock. Anyway, Ribbler is pattern inspiration, user and eco friendly, win-win. Yeah, I guess I blew that because I didn't. Um, I wasn't sure about the site because you have to join it basically to do anything. But they have patterns and ooh, they sell patterns and they have free patterns. But anyway, it's a whole thing I guess that Joann's is trying to do. But in order to really get any information on it, you have to sign up and sign in. Built by designers for designers, user equo. Anyway, so I guess anyway I blew that because I didn't have the 12 bucks and I wasn't quite ready to dive into Ribbler. So back to the drawing board on that one. It'll show up. Thank you, Joyce, for looking. I appreciate it. I really do. It will pop up somewhere. It will pop up somewhere. The other thing I didn't know about on the Ribbler, because you have to go through the whole sign up process and become part of a community or whatever. I didn't know how much they would want for shipping, but it says sorry, temporarily out of stock. So I'm back to the drawing board on that. But it'll show up. It'll show up, and if I get the green, if I get a fat quarter of the green, I'll be good. In fact, I'd be willing to trade some Other Places You Will Go hot air balloon fabric for some of it. You know, I'm more than willing to work together, but we'll see. I'm looking here for a minute and I can see. Okay, so see this fabric? That's the the Places You Will Go. That's the hot air balloon with the little dude in it from The Places You Will Go. I have some of that. I have some extra of that. So if somebody has a Lorax purple fat quarter and they want to trade me for a fat quarter of that, or green. I mean, this is the one I'm hunting for. But the green would work too. It'll show up. But I appreciate you looking, Joyce. I'm gonna pop off of here because I didn't realize Leanna was on. I really, well, we do the best thing we can. You know, we do the best thing we can to kind of not overlap happens, but you really want to support your friends, and not have people have to watch two at the same time. I was just trying to sneak up on this morning because I hadn't been on for a bit, and I know I need to get more regular, but when I hurt my back and my SI and hip is still not real good, I just kind of, so I'm working on this, but oh, okay, Giovanna, oh geez. Well, I need to get off of here pretty soon anyway because I've been on for about an hour and a half, so that's... June, you have a great day. Thank you for joining. And basically, I think I shared pretty much caught up on things that I'm working on. I'm excited about... I will say this, too, about Joann's. One thing that I do like is they have a good clearance section. And twice a year... Now, I don't know if this is going to continue... but twice a year they go through and they section off for clearance in the winter and sometime in the late spring, summer. Now, they stopped doing the clearance where it started at 50% and went up to like 80 or 90% with the stickers, and went more to last chance, which boings up and down. between 60 and 80% off. But I've seen you. I've gotten some really nice kind of premium fabric or other fabric for $3 a yard, $2 a yard out of the clearance. Um, so that's another thing, and it's very unfortunate. I, it's very unfortunate for those that are in other countries that don't have those resources. It reminds me of how blessed we are that we have had access to something like that. I don't know. I really hope they find a buyer, because it's kind of the only, in a way, it's the only store of its kind that's left. And it's going to be a hard hole to fill for a lot of people if it goes away. I mean, 80, 90 years is a long time, a lot of history. There's a lot of memories there because, like I said, for the first 2 years of the pandemic, they were my lifeline. Because I could go in there and bounce ideas off of them, and I could get things that I needed. It was, selection was thin and things were tight, but you have a good nap, Giovanna, and take care of yourself. But it was sanity too, because I didn't go in person into a lot of stores during that time. I'm disabled. I have an autoimmune disease, psoriatic arthritis. I did a lot of pickup. But one place that I could go, because even when there was a limit, there weren't that many people in the store, was Joann's. So sometimes that half hour I could wander around Joann's and even just look. That was sanity, you know. And the people there, they're good people in my Joann's. I've been in several. Some are not so good, and some like mine are fantastic, and that's a blessing. So, but I appreciate those that have come and hung out with me. I appreciate those that will come and watch the replay. I am working on getting more consistent. I do need to do some tutorials. Oh, Joe, let me see real quick. Joe, if you're still on, if I can go back here. I've got too many pictures of my darn dogs. Okay, so this would be November. Dogs, clouds, buildings, photography is a hobby. Okay, you did those. Yeah, that I do. But we were you did those heart things, and you pulled the fabric over. I did these out of my brain for Debbie's anniversary. And what I did was I cut the window and I put together scrappy strips. And what I did was I just cut it and I tucked it. I tucked it under. I left about 1/4 of an inch, and then I snipped it so that I could tuck the edge under. Used a little bit of stitch tape, which you just iron on to hold the edges down, and then I stuck the scrappy under for a quilt block. So I was just wondering if instead of using that extra fabric and doing all those calisthenics to flip it over, if we could draw a heart and do the same thing, draw a heart and leave 1/4, 3/8, and just stick it under. And then you could do your scrappy through the window. And then you put your batting on. Because what I did here was I stitched, once I got it done, I stitched 1/8 of an inch out from the, I stitched right up close to the tree and around the pumpkin to make sure everything was held down. And they looked really good, but you got me thinking. You have a great idea. It's working, but I saw you It's like you were wrestling an alligator trying to get that inside out, and then you were trying to get it clipped. And I thought, well, I wonder if that just brainchild thing that I did where I drew a tree and I drew a pumpkin and I cut out a window and I left it a little bit wide and I used that steamacine. I used a little bit of steamacine under the lip of the shape to hold it down, and I used a little tack bits of steamacine on the scrappy underneath, because on that particular one I was just sending the block. I wasn't going any further, and it was my first experiment with this. But it was a lot of fun because I could just pick Christmas and pick Thanksgiving fall fabrics and do scrappy. And I just sewed, I did what you showed me to do. I just sewed strips together and made a window, and then when I got it on the back, I just held it tacked in place, and then I sewed right up close to around the tree or the pumpkin. And you could, when you do that point, you could be putting it on the, and you can do it any size, but then you could put it on your batting with your backing, and you wouldn't be like trying to twist that fabric through the hole and getting it to hold. You see, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying what you did. I've kind of seen, but it was like, and maybe you did beautiful. You absolutely did beautiful, and maybe that's the easiest way, but I thought, wow, with my hands, that'd be like wrestling an alligator. And then I thought about those blocks that I just pooped out one night because I needed to get something to Debbie, and I was ready to not do any blocks for her anniversary because the blocks I wanted to do weren't working. So it's not a refined, there was those 2 blocks, and my sister wants one for a pillow. Hey sis, how you doing this morning? I'm squirreling and wrapping up, and Joe and I were brainchild about her heart coasters. Oh, here's another thing, Joe. If you can find some of these when you're doing that kind of thing, see how pointy the noses are? So if you're doing something like that, they fit better than the big ones. I use these more than I use the regular size. And I saw them last week, 50 of them Clover on Amazon for 15 bucks. 50 of the Clover Mini, 15 bucks. Just saying, that's an idea for you because you do a lot of small scrap projects and they have kind of the needle nose. And so they're really good for kind of getting in tight spaces. I just throw out suggestions. Donnell's in the house. My little sister's in the house. How you doing today? You doing better? Yeah. And like I said, I got mine off of Amazon. I was using the bigger clips, the regular size, and I got cheap ones. And then I saw these, which are made by Clover, in early 21, and I think I paid, because I just watched and found a deal on Amazon, I think I paid like $13 for 50 of these, and then I found some of the bigger ones the medium ones by Clover, and paid the same amount. But I've seen them, I've watched them in the last 4 or 5 months because people say it's not possible. I have seen both on Amazon Flex, from legitimate sellers for $15 to $18 for 50. And there is nothing wrong with off-brand clips. But these are superior, in my opinion. Having used both, if you can find Clover for a decent price, these are better clips. The ones made in Japan. But these little mini needle nose things, I use those all the time. I mean, I got these that are like, you can reach out and pinch your neighbor. I got a few of these, and see, like with the Clover here, they have measurements, quarter, half, but yeah. These will hurt somebody. I don't use these very often. I don't even remember how I got them. But I was just thinking, I threw that out for you because when you were doing that little bitty heart, I saw you having the battle of the clips like this in there, and I thought, dang, wonder if she knows that they make little ones like this, and she can get 50 for about 15 bucks, and she wouldn't have as, it would make her scrappy easier. Anyway, just a thought. And they're multicolored. They come in a nice little container like this. You can put it in a different container, but the mini ones come like this. The big ones just come in a plastic container. And if you're wondering why that one's so thin, my backup container that I got has them all. By my stove. By my sewing machine. And it's overflowing. So some of them need to come back over, get back over here near Puka. But it's, you know, and if you're wondering why I only have a couple yellow ones, I don't really care for the yellow color, so I've usually shared those with somebody who's needed clips. Hey, here, try these. Take a yellow one. Take 5 yellow ones. I know. It really shouldn't matter, but they're not my favorite, so I kept a couple and shared the rest. I've got plenty. yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm glad you're doing pretty good today, Donnell. You've been through some really tough stuff, and really been praying for you. It's a lot to carry, a lot to sort through. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, like I said, I picked these up, a pack of these brand new at a estate sale or something. They're kind of cool because the clover ones actually do have different measurements here. So when you're putting it on the thing, you can tell quarter, half, 5/8, right up to an inch. So you can actually kind of mark when you're putting something heavy duty like the edge of a quilt together. But I haven't used them a lot. They're just monsters. I used these a lot at first, and I still do. There's certain projects that I use these for. They too have a 1/4 inch marking on the back. I use these when I'm folding the angel wings because they hold better, but these probably 85% of the time when I'm reaching for a clip and not a pin, I use these. I think Clover was the only one I had found them from. I think Madam So just came out with some knockoffs. A couple months ago, I think I saw Madam So come off with some knockoffs. But that was the thing too, was Clover was the only one that I saw with the mini clips. And like I said, they're pretty nice because they come in this nice little case that and the case for these is just open. So if you get some of these Clover, it comes in the same plastic case but no dividers. I don't know why they put dividers in this, but if nothing else, the case is nice. But for 15 bucks, 50 clips in a nice case. And like I said, I can tell because I have knockoff clips that I started with that I paid 10 or 15 bucks for. And they don't have the, same mechanics. In my opinion, having compared them, the quality is there. But would I pay $50? Would I pay 50 bucks? 70 bucks for this? No, I would go knockoff. Because that's a lot of investment in clips. But if I can find them for $15 to $18 for 50, yeah, I will. I will go Clover. Maybe I get 100 of the knockoffs for the same price, but if they're not the same quality, and I'm busting them or whatever, because those I've had for like 3.5 years. Use them all the time. I haven't had one bust yet. Now I've had them fly across the room. Still looking for them, but that's another thing. Um, so I'm saying I understand. I understand getting knockoff clips because that's how I started. I got a I got a 10 of them cheap off of Amazon because I wanted to try them because I'd always pinned. And then I found these minis, and I found the big ones for the same cheaper price, and I compared the knockoffs with them, and you can tell the difference in quality. Just saying. But would I walk into a quilt store and pick up this for $70? Nope. Nope. I'd rather put that into something else. 15, yeah. 20, yeah. It's worth it because you use them. I use mine almost every time I sew. But like when I fold these wings into 3, the little minis don't work well. So when I get these folded up, so then I can tack them here until I get the ribbon around her neck, I use the bigger ones. So anyway, I'm just, I don't want to be telling anybody what to do. Some people say I'm too opinionated or I know everything. I don't. But I can share my experience. I can share what I've learned. I can share things that I found along the way. And then you make a decision. It's like, if I have a ruler like this, this is an Omni Grid, not an Omni Grip. I won't put little dots on it because then I don't have a completely flat surface ruler for grippy. I will get the Omni Grid sheet, and it sticks on with like static cling, and you cut it to the size of your ruler, and it covers the whole back of the ruler and is clear, and it helps it become a grip. But the whole ruler is the same thickness on the back. You don't have little spots that are thick. Just even that 3 millimeters can make your ruler rock. So I'd rather get the Omni Grip stuff and put it on the back. And this one doesn't have it because I haven't used this particular ruler very much. But the one by my cutting table, it has had the Omni Grip stuff on the back for 3.5 years, and it hasn't had to be changed. And if it does come kind of unsticky, I can wipe it off and stick it back on, because it's not tape. It's like a but yeah. Now Omni Grip I don't have to worry about because they put the grip on the back of the ruler. And this is my crazy wedge ruler. I waited 2.5 years to get and found on deal. But that's why some rulers are Omni Grip and some are Omni Grid, because the Omni Grip are green. See, there's an Omni Grip. Some people don't know this. And this is an Omni Grid. Same company. This does not have the grip on the back. This has a grip on the back. But you can buy a roll of the grip stuff for inexpensive. I mean, you can get a good size roll, and it's not very expensive, and you cut it to whatever size ruler you have. And what I like about it is it static clings on there, and your ruler is all flat. You don't have these little bumps that can cause a kind of a, because you've got gaps. But that's me, but it took me, and why do I use a lot of OmniGrid rulers? Rulers by OmniGrid? Because I can see every fabric I work on using these rulers. I can see the measurements. I can see darks, I can see lights, I can see in between, and I'm not paying a fortune for a ruler. Rulers are expensive, but I get these on sale, and instead of paying $50 for a ruler, I can pay much less. And these are one of the first companies that came out with a standard. If you look at the company history for OmniGrid, they are one of the first quilters that came out and designed a quilting ruler that would have accuracy and precision from ruler to ruler. You could grab one of these on one table and grab a second one off the other table and not have millimeters worth of differences in your ruler. They were the first quilting company to come up with that idea and to push for it. And to use, I think they used German technology. Now, they may not, I mean, this was a quilter that got frustrated with rulers not being accurate even within their own line. So, they started the creative grids idea. Frustrated quilter. So, that's what I'm saying. Look for tools that aren't like, but work for you. Would I like to have a couple or three of the creative grid rulers because of what they are? Yeah. But would I want a whole drawer for the price? Not really. Because I have used these and used these and used these, and they have worked great for me. And they have all different kinds. I've got circles and arcs, and this one I waited a couple years to get. It's an angle, so you can do all the different angles with it. And I'll tell you what, probably this set of rulers, it's a set of 3. This is not a cutting ruler, set of 3. And what did I do? Oh, it's a set of 3. So you have this one, you have this one, and then you have a 3-inch. And this right here is a perfect quarter inch, right here in the middle. These are measuring only rulers, they're not for cutting. This ruler here, I use just about every time I sew. This one, not so much. The 3-inch, not so much. But I do pick this up to do like a ruler to ruler. So I have my cutting ruler here, and I will use this to measure with. To make, and because I can slide it right down my fabric and make sure my line's straight. But this, and I've only found them in a set of the 3. I have like two or three sets that I've gotten when I've gotten them on sale. And each one has the perfect quarter in the center. And I just reach for them a lot because I can double check things really simply. And this one, because it's a 6-inch, and then the big ruler, my favorite one is 2.5 by 12. I use that probably more than any other ruler, but I do have varieties. I have a couple long rulers like this when I have to make long cuts, but I can tell you what I use probably the most is one that's this one's 6. It's about it's a 12-inch and it's 2.5 inches wide. It's the one I use. Probably 80% of the time I grab it first. This one I got about 2 years ago, maybe 3. This lady on Facebook said she had this OmniGrid ruler for $5, and I thought, oh wow, it's a 5.5 by 15, 16, I think. And I thought, woo, $5. I get there, and she hands me, wrapped in plastic, a 3-pack of these. Each of these were individually wrapped, and they were shrink wrapped, and it said 3-pack. 3 of these. Now, they're wider than I normally use, and some I have, like one of my nephews swiped one, to use in it because he thought this was one of the greatest things, even though he doesn't sell. But I was like, really? 3 for $5, and they were brand new. Nothing wrong with them. I have no idea. Um, so, and I had a 2.5 by 10 for this table. I had 2 of them, and I just can't find it. So I went in the other room and pulled one of these out. That's why um, it works. Yeah, Donna, it just depends on what you're using it for. But what I'm trying to say is OmniGrip and OmniGrid may not work for you. But I tried a lot of different rulers before I settled on these Friskers and different companies like that. They're good. But I had trouble with the numbers, seeing them. I had trouble with the lines on certain colors of fabric, and it's like, it might have worked for lights, but it didn't work for darks, or vice versa. And it was like, so I started looking, and I started doing history, and I found out that OmniGrid is actually the ones who standardized and brought forth the idea that that accuracy is very important in a ruler. So what their goal was that if you got if you got 3 of these rulers, they would be identical. Because this lady had found that she could buy 2 of the same rulers from the same company, and there would be millimeters of difference in the measurements on the rulers. They didn't cut identical, and that threw off, as you know, her quilting, and it snowballed. So she set out on a mission for accuracy, and that you could get, and it started small, and now they've put out a lot of different things. But you have to find what works for you. Like I said, there's 2 or 3 creative grid rulers. If I could afford them, I'd have them in my staple. I get that 1/8, and there's a couple other ones. But they're quality, but they're just a little too pricey. Auntie Patricia! Welcome. We're just kind of meandering. In fact, I keep thinking I'm going to go off, and we squirrel off on something else, and then somebody else comes in. I just was popping in this morning to kind of share a couple things that I gotten, and a couple prizes, and some things that I gotten for projects that I'm working on, and then we scrolled off on cork for a little bit, and now we're on rulers and clips or something. So, and then says, haha, you made me go look at my clips. And she said, she was given some from her daughter that she bought from Temu. Couldn't see a difference at first. I have Clover. Do I see the difference now? Yeah. See, and Jo made her own hexi ruler. There you go. I mean, that works too. Yeah. It's like if I could find somebody local who would want the True Cut system. I got like 5 rulers that are like brand new, and a True Cut rotary cutter. I didn't care for it. I got this is just one of the monster ones. And I tried it. See, still has the True Cut label on it. I have the square, and I have little one. And True Cut is, you can ride your rotary cutter on this lip here. It didn't work for me. Somebody gave me the rotary cutter. They're kind of pricey when they're not on sale. I think they're like $45. And then the ruler sets. Didn't work for me. Had it in the drawer for a couple years. And then the rulers came when she had sold out her long arm business. And she ended up giving me the rotary cutter. She had never used it, because she wanted me to try a good rotary cutter, which I appreciated. And then she had a stack of rulers mixed match of rulers, and I asked her how much, and she gave me a good deal on a bunch of rulers. This other one you saw flopping around that I haven't used, it's still in plastic, was part of that set. That's June Taylor. And the plastic's torn, but it's never... This is a June Taylor. Cut strips quickly and accurately. Looks like it's a 5 by 24. And the plastic's torn, but it's never been used. The color, I put it down. The color of the lines. And that's what people don't realize. You got to also look at the color of the numbers in the lines. Good ruler, but it's stuck on here. I've got some other rulers, but I've got to figure out what to do with them, and I just had the opportunity to do that. So some people, the True Cut system works grand. Give me one of these with the OFA 60 as a backup, which it's not over here. See, I have OFA. Somebody just claimed my Friskers. But I also have these little puppies. So I will use my OFA 60 and I will use my OFA 18 for little projects and my little OmniGrid Kai. But you see, not too often. This is a 18, this is a 24. These are great for doing small curves and applique. I don't use these too often. I do use the 60. It's over there. I used it to cut padding. I have tried a number of rotary cutters. This works for me. Does not work for everybody. But if you can listen to people and their thoughts about a rotary cutter or their thoughts about a ruler, it might save you from having a rotary cutter graveyard. It might save you from getting a ruler that you can't read the numbers on when it's on dark fabric or light fabric. Because most people don't think about that. They go, oh, this ruler's pretty. But once you put it on the fabric, you're straining to do your measurements to either read the way they lay out the numbers, or you need, because of the color and contrast of the numbers on the ruler, it's blending in with your lights or your darks, or vice versa. If you can take some of these tips and save some time stumbling around, or like Joe, sometimes you just make a template. You know, I made my own pattern for this, and I've modified it, and now it's a little bit bigger and more functional. Okay, so now it's about this size. Not too much, but just a bit bigger so it's functional. And I made my own template. Worked for me. I mean, Joe's probably more talented at it. But, you know, here's freezer paper. When I have to cut out hearts, I use freezer paper. When I make those little heart patchwork, pocket heart prayer, whatever thingies from Shabby Fabric, I use my heart template. I iron it on, cut it out or draw it, peel it off, use it about 10 times, 12 times for the little iron sticky, and then I get another piece of freezer paper and make another one. But if you're going to be making something that you have to cut out, freezer paper is wonderful. And especially if you're going to make a bunch. So like with these, oh guys, I wish you wouldn't just mix up my little pukas here. I got chicken parts and mixed up. Okay, so these, and yeah, these, take this, decide what part of the pattern you want, iron it on there, and there you go. You've got your heart. And there's no having to draw it on there. It's just makes it really simple. And like I said, it's reusable. And yeah, don't talk about my little pouch. That's just because I made way too many, because I'm using them for different things. I mean, these scrappy blocks, let me tell you what, I may have a bunch in here, because I don't always count right when I'm making things. But yeah, these little scrappy blocks, what are these? They've been used for other things in patchwork. They're about 5, on average, they're about 5.5 by 5.5. But see, the nice thing is like, if I don't want these plain purples that I shouldn't have gotten 2 of, I can kind of push this around a little bit. So like, I get only the, so like that. And then I can use this 4-patch for something else. But if I want purple down here, I can go like this, move it down here, save this one up here. It's just, so sometimes rulers are good, but sometimes you can, like Joe said, make your own. So I did, and yeah, so there's, yes, there's an obscene amount left in here, and I've already made like 60 of these. Because something happened to my brain when I was making them. But they're good, they don't, they last, they're usable, and oh yeah, there's a few more than that. You know, where you're not realizing that you put together so many. Like, oops, shouldn't have done that. I did that with the angels. I thought that I had put together about 25 or 30, not 59, 57. Until somebody asked me to count. I was like, oh, oops. But like, see what they end up is they end up like this. And then they'll get a back, you know, they'll get a back, say like that, and then they'll get a pocket, like that. See, I just pull all these out, slap that on there, put it on here, ta-da, sew it together, turn it right side out, top stitch it, add across, if I want to, and there's a pocket. So yeah, did I overdo? Yeah, but I can grab these, twiddle some out, or use the scrappy squares for something else. I was learning 3 years ago, and overdid a little. But I did that with the angels because I lost count too. Oh, sorry. Back here with the chicken parts. Well, Joyce, it could be how you're holding it, and sometime when you're at a doctor's appointment, but if you ever want to just see if it may be, because the first couple weeks, I used mine for about a week and a half and I was ready to throw it in the wall. And then I saw a video from Sobeka on it and I thought, oh crap, I haven't been using it right. I haven't had my placement right on it. And as soon as I got the mechanics down, it was like, oh, this is the bomb. And I know Martelli has a couple videos on using, on proper holding of it, how to use it. Because you really need your finger up here to keep it from veering, and they have a little thumb puka here to make it comfortable, and that's fatiguing. And this was like one thing I was missing, was my little finger here. So there's a couple different places that have videos that can help you, because it could be, because there is a learning curve, could be like me, you're just don't have the mechanics of what makes it work well down. Could be. And for some people it doesn't work. They go to something else. But Joyce, you have a good day, and you take care. I love you guys. I've been on for a couple hours now, and we've been scrolling. It's been fun. I love hanging out with you guys. I'm hoping to get things kind of straightened out so that I can get on more regular to get some of my tutorials done. I do have shoulder surgery at the end of February, so, but done things one-handed before, so maybe that's when I'll get a few of those things done. We'll see. I'd like to get them done before, but, and of course you gotta see the rest of what came in this bin, you know, not that, but you gotta see the rest of the goodies that came in this bin, because like when she got, like I said, when the lady got out to give me the bin, oh, I found a few more things and I just threw them in there. And there's a bunch of stuff that wasn't on the ad or the video. Okay. And then she threw in the canvas, so, and I didn't know what I was going to do with the canvas, but as soon as Deb saw it and saw a picture, she said, you got canvas too? And then she said, let me see, and she saw a picture of it, and her little wheels started turning. Who knows what's going to happen with that. Hey, Mary. But I've enjoyed catching up, talking about some projects. I have to figure out what I want to do with this too, because it's got to be something special. So, and then like I said, this is a taste of what was in that bin that was 3/4 full, and it was so fun going through it. I know, go through it on camera. Well, it's over there, and I have to get it moved over here. And it's kind of hard to move a bin with crutches. Not impossible, but the last time I tried to do that with my thread cabinet, I dropped it, and I had 3 drawers that were almost full of thread rolling across the floor. It wasn't pretty. So, we will do that. Plus, I wanted to kind of, anyway. Wasn't set up for it, but it's going to be an adventure because it, then you have a great day too. I really appreciate those that have come in, those that have gone, those that have hung out, and like I said, those that will watch this video in the future. This was truly puttering and meandering, wandering around, doing some squirreling. Hopefully I can come back on soon. I have to get moving a little bit because I've got a couple things to do this morning, and then this afternoon I have to go straighten out an issue before ortho appointment with Deb. Hopefully my ortho doc will tell me a little bit more to do with this while I'm there. I'll sneak in a question. So kind of a busy day. That's why I wanted to get on this morning. But I'm glad that y'all came in. I appreciate you. I loves you. I appreciate your patience with me because I haven't been the most consistent. You know, I kind of got down in the deep end with having a channel, and I like it, but a lot's happened since that. Since the idea just suddenly happened, came to life. I mean, I thought about it for about 2.5 years, but I wasn't prepared for it to happen. It was still kind of a thought, and then maybe, and a and then all of a sudden, bloop, there you are. Working on it. But I love my community and great people. So you guys have a really blessed day. I will see you soon. And yeah, I'm hiding certain things. They won't show up tomorrow. So I love you guys. Thank you again. I will talk to you soon. Alright, now I gotta find this button. Where's the button? Thank you, Mary. Thank you very much. See, the dog nicked me on the chin. Like, oh my gosh. Button. No, there's a button. Oh, it's up here. Ha ha ha. Alright, I love you guys. You have a blessed day. Thank you again.